Welcome to Swallow It Spit's off-season series. This is where we let our cherished grapes in Spain rest a little over the winter and avoid the winter frost. And we get out of there and we go back to our homes, the new world of wine, and we see which Spanish grapes are taking hold in places like Australia and South Africa and New Zealand and California even. But right now, we're going to call it our Conquistadors series, sort of a working title. I'm not sure if that's that politically correct. Let's workshop that one. But it's where the Spanish grapes have gone out to the world and have landed, taken root, and have become a part of the new world winemaking ecosystem, let's say. And so right now I'm in Australia at my parents' house. You might see there's a bit of a jungle all around me. We just had a summer storm came through, so it was 40 degrees, which in Fahrenheit I think is around 110, something like that, like really, really hot for a couple of days. And then out of nowhere, a southerly storm. So for us, south is towards Antarctica on this side of the world. A southerly storm came through and just turned the hot day into a less hot day. It's still kind of muggy, but with a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of lightning. So you might hear some background noise. So now it's cooled down a little with the storm. I thought I might do a little quick introduction into some of the grapes that we find here in Australia that are of Spanish origin, and maybe explain what we plan on doing and probably drink a little bit of the wine while we're doing it. So this wine that I found downstairs, I have never tried this before. It's called Rabbit and Spaghetti, South Australian wine. It doesn't say where it's from in South Australia, which means that maybe it's from a few different areas. You know, if the wine bottle doesn't say proudly which region it's from, it usually means it's from all over the place and it's a little bit of a off-cuts kind of wine. But let's see. I don't want to judge a wine by its bottle, although we should learn how to do that, and we will not in this series, but on this channel. That this wine is from South Australia, and it has 3 grapes in it, a blend of 3 grapes that are all indigenous Spanish grapes. The first one that we have in here is Tempranillo. Tempranillo is the most famous Spanish red wine grape. It's the grape that you'll find all across the vast Spanish meseta, across sort of the north of Spain, but inland in the north of Spain. So we're talking La Rioja, which I'm sure most people are aware of. La Rioja is the most famous area for Tempranillo. And then you're going to go across to Ribera del Duero, which you'll also find mostly Tempranillo, pretty much all Tempranillo, but they're going to call it Tinto Fino. It's a different name, but it's the same grape. And then across to another wine region, which is one of my favorites, which is in that area, a little bit more rural for sure, and probably with harsher summers, colder nights, which I think make better wines, but we'll discuss that throughout this channel. To Toro, where they call Tempranillo Tinto de Toro. And so that's the most famous Spanish red wine grape. That's the one you're going to find anywhere in the world. That's the one we're going to initially explore on this channel and sort of get the bottom of. It's the one that's the most versatile. It's the one that ages really well. You could go from a really young, fresh Tempranillo to a very, very aged, earthy, dusty Tempranillo that you'll drink with the key. It runs the whole gamut. It depends on how long you spend. It spends in oak, mostly with Tempranillo. So that's in this wine. We love Tempranillo. Tempranillo is our favorite. We need a nickname for Tempranillo. Maybe hit us in the comments if you've got a good nickname, so we can use it throughout the series. We're saying Tempranillo all the time. It's going to get a little bit tedious. The second grape is in Australia. It's called Mataro. Now, Mataro is in Spain. It's called Monastrell. Okay, and Monastrell is a native Spanish grape. It's native to the Mediterranean area. So we're talking Catalonia, we're talking Valencia, Monastrell. It's mostly grown in the regions of Humilla, am I saying that right, Spanish friends? Humilla, Alicante, down there in the sort of, not the south of Spain, but south of Barcelona. south of Valencia, so heading down towards Andalusia. What's interesting is that in Australia, we call it Mataro. I don't know why. We call it Mataro, probably. I don't know why we've decided to call it Mataro here. But that's interesting because the town next to where I live in Barcelona is called Mataro, the next big city. So I wonder if that's got something to do with it. I should know that. What right do I have to have a YouTube channel about Spanish wine if I don't know the answer to that? We will need to sort that out. The third grape in this blend is a Garnacha. They write Grenache on the bottle because Grenache is the most popularized name of that, because the French sort of took the Spanish grape Garnacha and ran with it and made it something famous through their Côte d'Aron and their Châteauneuf de Pape regions. But Grenache is a native Spanish wine also. It's native to the north of Spain, so it's native to the Zaragoza area. Campo de Borja is like the sort of heartland of Garnacha, but you'll find it in Priorat in Catalonia, where they'll be making blends very, very similar to this, if not sometimes identical. So Priorat love making 3 grape blends, and those 3 grapes will be any of Tempranillo, Monastrell, and Garnacha, and other grapes. But here in this rabbit and spaghetti from South Australia that I found at my parents' house, we've got those 3. So let's try it. My mum, she said that she's sick of using stemmed glasses, so she's only got the tumblers, and I think that's just fine. I don't care about using a stemmed glass to taste this wine. Let's have a look. The other thing, in Australia, we only do screw tops. So that's something that I think that the old world will have to get used to at some point, because cork is a finite resource. There are only so many cork trees in Portugal that they can skin the bark off. And we have an insatiable taste desire for wine. And I don't think we're going to have enough cork to satisfy us thirsty buggers. So this is a very brief introduction into some of the grapes you will find in Australia that are Spanish of origin. This one is immediately, for me, this is the thing with this channel too, we don't want to tell you how these wines smell or how you should smell them. I want to tell you what I pick up, and I probably have a heathen's nose. You know, I just really, really love Spanish wine, and I'm in this to understand why I love the wines that I love, and to maybe help you understand why you love the wines that you love and why you dislike the ones that you dislike. And we will never say hate about wine because that's too strong a word. I will drink vinegar. This one today initially has a whole lot of pepper. Okay, so there's like underneath the pepper, underneath the pepper, there's definitely what you would expect from Spanish red wine grapes, especially the Garnacha, the Tempranillo, which is going to be like this sort of red berries and plums and that sort of stone fruity, not stone fruity, but you know what I'm saying, that you'd expect for a Spanish red wine, but this one's got a lot of pepper. And I give it a little air whilst this gale force wind is out. It's bloody delightful. And that's opened up the pepper a lot more. That's incredible. So I'm picking up very little tannins. So this is the thing too about Australian wines, is that they don't have the same strict regulations that we have in Spain. So they haven't had to put on the bottle whether this has been aged in oak, or they don't have to advertise that fact. In Spain, if it hasn't been oaked, you have to put that it hasn't been oaked. You have to put joven on it. If it's been oaked in La Rioja 12 months, you put crianza. We love crianza. If it's been oaked, it's been 12 to 18 months, but then in bottle for another 12 months, it's una reserva. Anything more than that, the Gran Reserva. They put it on the bottle. It has to be on the back with the La Rioja ticket. That's the rule. So you always know what you're getting, and that's really handy, because I think with these Spanish red wines, the aging makes all the difference. You know, the grapes sure, and the terroir, the terroir sure as well. They definitely bring their fair share to the party. But for me, it's the aging in the oak that really sort of turns a fresh summer wine, a fun wine, a party wine, into a tapas wine, a dinner with friends wine, or potentially into a dinner with the in-laws wine. And this one, to me, with the lack of tannins, it's still a very well-balanced wine. Doesn't have any tannins, doesn't have any complexity to it. But it's quite light in the mouth, so it's not feeling full. I'm getting into that feeling of having like a mouthful of milk. It's sort of feeling like water. Acidity, a little bit. And this is just a really easy to drink, fun wine. It's, you know what? It's not acidic. So I wouldn't say this is like the wine that you should take to the beach or to the picnic on a hot day in the park. I think this is still more of a sit-down dinner wine, but I think a relaxed dinner wine, and I think a dinner wine where you'll drink with people who may tell you, heads up, I don't like red wine. It doesn't have any of those rough tannins that you need to sort of quickly shovel a mouthful of fat into your mouth so that you can counteract those tannins. It has nothing like that. It's really gentle in the mouth. It's there's that thunder again. How good's that? Welcome to Australia. It's full enough, but not too full. It's just pleasant. It has a bit of heat, so I can feel heat in my mouth, which is going to signify that it has some alcohol content. The bottle will tell me. And it's got 13.5%, right? So that's no slouch when it comes to getting you tipsy, which is what we like over here at Swallow Don't Spit Wine. And yeah, you know what? I thought this wine might be a bit shit because the fact that they didn't put where the grapes are grown on the bottle, I was like, this is going to be a bit sus. But it's actually a very friendly wine. Not my number one choice for drinking in the summer heat, which I would really, through this channel, like to sort of introduce everybody to red wines, Spanish red wines that aren't heavy, that you can drink in the sun with friends before a party, This is not one of those. This is a really good wine to take to a dinner party with friends. If you're standing around the kitchen chatting and snacking and little skewers and even barbecue, which is great. This would be fantastic with an Australian barbecue and some nice lamb chopped in rosemary. And it's all Spanish grapes. So I'm going to stop waffling and start drinking. This is the Rabbit and Spaghetti South Australian wine, the 2022. I don't know how much it costs, but I found it in my parents' house. But I like it a lot. Whoa. Should we hear that? When it comes to rain again, before this sound gets drowned out, I'm going to love you, leave you. This is Swallow Don't Spit Wine. Remember, if you've watched it all the way through in here, you can like this video, you can subscribe to this video, you can find us on Instagram for some really dumb shit that we like to do. We just want to have a lot of fun with wine. We want to explore what we like and what you like and why we like it and why you like it. We want to democratize the world of wine. We want to make wine and Spanish wine especially accessible to everybody. If this is wine for the people, but this one here is wine for me. So g'day, see you later from Australia, adios, and we're done.